Hello and welcome to Megatrip, the travel channel that inspires you to adventure. And once again, you join me here in Shanghai. Here's what's coming up on this episode of Megatrip. Warm, it is still hot, it is still sweaty, but very excited. The car culture, the car production here is absolutely insane. For Huawei, Xiaomi, Lizzie will have a go at me if I pronounce that incorrectly. Two testicles sitting aside a phallus. So today we are kicking off our video here in People's Park, near People's Square in Shanghai. Don't really know what we're looking for just yet, but the park is nice. It is an oasis of green here down in the heart of the city. It is still warm, it is still hot, it is still sweaty, but very excited to check out the world famous People's Square. Don't really know what to expect, but anyway, cue the music. So just like a lot of cities in Asia, you will see an awful lot of these motorbikes about. They have their own lanes, they might use the pavement, they may not wait for you at level crossings, so just be a little bit careful. Just keep your head up and don't have your head down on a camera making YouTube videos. Not recommended. It's not all mega skyscrapers in downtown Shanghai. You can actually see some more normal things if you like. So interesting, next to the big Marriott Hotel on People's Park, you can see these normal houses here. How perhaps much of the population still live today and maybe have lived for many, many years. It's kind of beautiful. It kind of reminds me of European cities in a way, in that perhaps you don't have the planning of some newer cities. You've got the old next to the new. Real buzz to it, real buzz.
Wars and natural disasters. Perhaps the most dramatic chapter came during Cultural Revolution when religious authorities were banned and the temple was converted into plastic factory in 1983. It was returned to Buddhist house and painstakingly reconstructed. Much of what you see today, one of the most striking things about Jing'an Temple is the setting surrounded by the shopping mall, Shanghai sanctuary stands as a reminder.
It is another sweaty, rainy day here in Shanghai, or Megatrip Shanghai edition. And this time we have come to the famous Jing'an Temple. Now, the Jing'an Temple is right here in the middle of Shanghai. We'll get some more shots of the inside in a second, but you start to get the idea. The temple itself is actually 1800 years old-ish, but it has been moved and rebuilt several times due to developments within the city. So anyway, we're going to go have a little look around. It is surrounded by luxury shopping malls and market stalls, as you might expect, but it is a functioning Buddhist temple. So let's go have a little mooch around inside and see what we can see at the Jing'an Temple in Shanghai. So behind me is the Buddhist goddess of mercy. Now that statue in there is made of 1,000-year-old camphor wood. It's 2.6 meters in diameter and 6.2 meters tall, and you can smell the camphor wood when you walk in. Really quite impressive. So this Buddha behind me sits in a temple where all the columns around, these guys that you can see, these are made exclusively from Myanmar teak. And the Buddha inside here, although maybe it doesn't quite look like it, is actually made out of silver, and 15 tons of silver. And it's almost 9 meters tall. Absolutely massive, super impressive. Reminds me a little bit of the Buddhist temples in Japan, if I'm honest. Who knew you'd see religious sites in the heart of Shanghai in China? So here in the Jing'an Temple, which is, I remind you, an active Buddhist temple here in the heart of Shanghai, there is a massive bell. It's about 7.3 tons. I think what's really impressive is when they ring that bell, the sound it makes can last for over 3 minutes. So just a few stops away on the metro from the Jing'an Temple is home to capitalism here in Shanghai. The Nanjing Road walking street, or pedestrian street if you like. This is where East meets West. This is the retail centre of Shanghai. You get your flagship stores from the likes of Apple, Huawei, Xiaomi. Lizzie will have a go at me if I pronounce that incorrectly. Looking around, what else can I see? H&M, KFC. Well, you wouldn't know you're in China. So we're gonna have a little wander around, do a little bit of retail therapy. But if you want to come do your shopping, this is probably the spot. As I said, you even get your Mac or your new iPhone. Yeah. So as you wander down Nanjing Road, this kind of famous commercial shopping street, you get to the also very famous buns down the other end. Check out all these buildings. What can we see? The Pearl TV Tower, some banks, and what look like at the bottom of the TV tower, two testicles sitting aside a phallus. The world famous bun. Apparently better at night. We'll have to come back and have a look then. So it is another day here in Shanghai, and thankfully the weather has broken a little bit. So we are maybe 28 degrees, something like that, but no longer raining, no longer super humid. I mean, still pretty humid. But I figured today what we're going to do is head out away from the centre and look at some of the different areas of Shanghai that perhaps aren't so touristy, and I can already notice a big difference, mainly being that none of the signs are in English now, or multi-language. So that's making my life a little bit trickier, but I have the internet, I have a translation app, and my boots are on the ground. So let's go check out Wujiuchang. This might be the most famous landmark in Shanghai you've never heard of. It's called Wujiuchang, and the name simply means five-cornered plaza, because five roads all collide here at a single enormous roundabout. Rising above it is something locals just call the egg in Chinese, but the nickname sells it short. Its real name is the Gate to Science. It was designed by Shen Yifei, one of China's greatest modern artists, and completed in 2006, just after he passed away. So in a way, this was his parting gift to the city. And the egg shape isn't an accident. In Chinese tradition, a painted egg stands for birth, incubation, and new life. This whole district, Yangpu, is built around science and innovation, surrounded by some of the country's top universities. But here's what most people walking through never realise. There's a whole hidden city below. A web of underground plazas and malls connects every single corner. You could wander for ages and never even once see daylight. A near 100-year-old plan, reborn as the future. So I've been thinking about doing a separate segment here in Shanghai. I don't think it's going to happen, but I was going to call it Megatrip Does Cars. And I think the car culture, the car production here is absolutely insane. On the road or when you're getting taxis, you see all these cool Chinese brands. Yes, we see some in the Middle East, you're starting to see them in Europe, but more and more. And everywhere you go, you can tell that cars are at the top of the agenda. So I'm just in a mall now, and you can see here, as you walk in, we've got Volkswagen sat here, as well as more Chinese native brands like Denza here, which I believe they're part of BYD. But look at these. This is the Z9 GT from Denza. Absolutely beautiful. Ni hao. I mean, look out European car manufacturing. These things are absolutely stunning. So, let me know in the comments if you want me to come back and do a trip just on Megatrip Does Cars, China edition. Or maybe even I could do it in the Middle East. I drive a Chinese car in the Middle East. Anyway, back to the main content. So we're now on Guokwan Road, which is is one metro stop from where we just were. It's probably a 10-15 minute walk, so it's not too bad. And it's, again, right, we're not in the centre of Shanghai. We're in a much more kind of local district, if you like, a more residential district. You can see here the road with the thousands of bikes parked on it. Little restaurants, we're going to stop into one of those in a minute, and little shops. But that's not all that this area is about. It's actually very much an educational area, and one of the top international schools is based here, in fact in the whole country, called Fudan. And that very much makes this, I guess, a university town maybe, or a school city, but it's very interesting, very different vibe, and definitely worth getting away from the kind of centre of Shanghai to come and have a look at a place like this. As you can see, perhaps this is more what you think of when you think of China beyond the skyscrapers, beyond the cyberpunk aesthetic. But I'll tell you what, it's actually pretty nice. It's clean, it's calm. I think most importantly, there's some places to go and eat, and I am blooming starving. So let's go and have some Megatrip munchies. So we've wandered down this little road, and we have found somewhere to stop for lunch, or well, breakfast, lunch. We haven't eaten yet anyway. You can probably see the steam rising from this glorious bowl of noodles. But a very interesting place, and I'll cut some of the footage in over this, I guess. So you kind of wander into the place, you pick the items that you want to go in your noodles, and they make it for you fresh right there and bring it over. So I've got some chicken, some vegetables, some noodles. Or at least what I hope is chicken, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I have a shellfish allergy, so I have to be a little bit careful in these situations. But anyway, it looks absolutely amazing. It was incredibly cheap. It was 32 RMB for both of us, including a drink. So that's about 10 dirham each, or £2 each, or $3 each, something like that. And this is what you get, a lovely bowl of noodles. So, let's give it a go. Let's see if it's any good. Oh, there we go. Let's give it a go and see if it's any good. Yeah, it's good. Okay, well that is it for this particular episode of Megatrip here in Shanghai. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a little like. Leave me a comment on what I've missed and what I should have done. Of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Get notification every time I drop new content. Anyway, see you next time here on Megatrip.